this is like the epitome of tropical lushness, and the stupas are beautiful. Tell me about the stupas. These are just...
They're exquisite, aren't they?
Oh my God.
And
I feel like I'm in Bali where you've got all the beautiful...
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's that they're doing their work. They have a job.
Okay.
And the job of a stupa is to begin to balance the elements. So these 4 stupas, the big ones especially, that have been consecrated, completely filled with all kinds of sacred items and objects and mandalas and everything inside. So they are
actually inside?
Oh yes,
is that
yes,
it was built?
all the way down. They're all the way up.
Is it hollow or is it solid?
It's hollow. It's hollow so that we could fill it with all of these consecrated substances. Otherwise it's just a form, which helps, which is good. But so there's always a Buddha statue here. But because they help to balance the elements, they become very protective from storms, from difficulties, and
I was going to ask you about that because
yeah.
we have hurricanes.
Because we do have hurricanes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And tornadoes
and tornadoes, the whole bit, and they've been up for 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And who built these? Like who?
Well, we did.
You got.
We basically did. We had an architect, Raphael Amachastegi, from RAF Architects, and he did the design of the whole place. He did all of the drawings for the stupas. He helped us to find engineers. He just was incredibly helpful. So so these have been there. We did the consecration, and afterwards, because it took about 10 or 12 days to get everything done, right? And afterwards, I was so tired. I must have slept for 2 or 3 days. And I was living in the cottage on the river at the time. And I got up one day just normally, and I walked out the door, and I start walking out, and I went, oh, it was the energy had completely changed.
No kidding.
Completely changed. And I looked around, and I went, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really seriously felt the effect of these after just a few days. Yeah.
Well, I mean, walking into the yard, and this is the first time I've been here, you feel that, the peacefulness and the energy and I don't even know the words. I don't know if I have the words.
It's hard to describe, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the difference between the stupas? And by the way, these stupas are staying. So whoever is lucky enough to get this house gets to have these stupas. And they are beautiful and sacred and a very important part of the house and probably the neighborhood. It radiates out.
The neighborhood, the Miami-Dade County, the state of Florida.
Yes.
I mean,
a treasure.
they are.
These are treasures.
They
for
are.
Sure.
They really are. And they're a community resource,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So
each one of them is different. When the Buddha passed away, his sanghas, communities, came from 8 different ones came, and they came to collect relics. And so they each got their relics, and then they went off into 8 different directions, so the 4 cardinal directions and the 4 intermediate directions, which meant that the Buddha's teachings would spread throughout the world. But each one of them built a stupa to commemorate a different part of the Buddha's life. So, you have the 12 stages of the cross, you have the 8 stupas, which in a sense sort of take you through some of the things, the main parts of the Buddha's life.
So take us on that journey a little bit. So
a little bit. I will a little bit.
Because I know it's a lot. It's a
well,
lifetime.
This one facing in the farthest east is called the Heaped Lotus Stupa. And these are lotus petals, which need to be repainted, but have not yet. So when the Buddha was born, evidently the first 7 steps that he took before his little foot hit the ground, a lotus flower opened. So this commemorates his birth.
Beautiful. So when you paint these, are you using like a special paint, or
Yeah,
is there a
outdoor
whole?
paint.
Okay, outdoor paint. I didn't know if it
Yeah.
had to be like.
And then a lot of these little things in here broke apart, and so we've started, you know,
Mending a little.
yeah, so we have to fill all that in. I filled all of these in and painted the gold on these two. I have to do the next two. If I have time here, I will do that.
Here's.
So we'll go to this one. This one has representations of doors. So it's the Gomang Stupa is what it calls, the Stupa of many doors. And it commemorates the time when the Buddha did, for 15 days, he did a different miracle every day. Not because he wanted to, but because there was some kind of a debate with others from other types of religions, I guess you could say. I don't know exactly 2,600 years ago what that manifested as, or what that was like. And so in order to show them, he did those miracles. So each one of these doors is one of those.
And how many miracles did you say?
I think it was 15. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah.
Okay, so each side has 15.
Has 14 on,
14,
and then the 15.
and then the main one
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
And this is our landing, and the tree down there is our bonsai Bodhi tree. And we have a Bodhi tree in the front also.
Oh, you do?
And the bush to your left there, I never cut it back because it's completely filled with bees. They absolutely, see?
Yeah.
We find bees here all the time. If you shake it, they go whoop.
Oh, bees are important. So, do you know what this plant is?
I forget what the name
Yeah.
is. But I love the smell, and so do they. So
it's beautiful.
that's what's important.
Oh, yeah, my goodness, it's delicious.
Isn't it
Yeah,
lovely?
it's absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
And it looks like it doesn't have flowers, but it really does.
It does have tiny,
Yeah,
tiny white
tiny
flowers.
little-
Tiny ones there.
Little white ones. Yummy.
Isn't that amazing?
And this is beautiful. This is the Little River,
This is the Miami Little River.
Miami
Yes.
Little River,
Yes, it is.
and that's the Bodhi tree.
Right. It loses its leaves once every 4 to 6 months, and then they all grow back again.
Nice. Beautiful. And this is a beautiful little cottage here.
Yes, it is. It's a lovely cottage. It has a living room, a bedroom. It has its own washer dryer. It has a kitchen, everything. I used to live there. I lived there for years.
Oh, did you? Not in the main house?
No. Because the main house was really more of a center. So it wasn't until the pandemic that I moved up there.
Oh, okay. I did
Yeah.
not realize that. So
Yeah.
you mainly were there, and that was where, everybody
All the
came
activity
and-
was, and then I could come back here and get away from it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
And you're
you
right
have
on
to.
the water, so it's,
Very, very peaceful.
yeah,
Very peaceful. Yeah.
nice.
And this is where we used to have our outdoor meditation sessions
Uh-huh.
here.
And then this stupa, what's this guy? Oh, what are these?
Well, these are also stupas, but they're just tiny ones because we didn't have enough room for 4 big ones.
And these names are...
Yeah, people have made special offerings to have plaques put on in the stupa garden for names. Like I had one plaque over there with my parents' name on,
nice.
and yeah.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, and then this stupa is...
This stupa that faces west is the, whoa, oh, sorry.
That's okay. I was
This-
too busy looking and not watching,
I know,
looking around
I know. This is the labab, and the steps are for when the Buddha came down from Tushita heaven and walked down the steps and came back to earth. He left so that he could teach his mother when she was there. And it was said that he would walk down the steps, and as he went to the next step, the one behind him would disappear.
This is a really interesting bench. Not the cushion, don't look at the cushion, but the bench is really pretty.
What?
So this is an interesting bench.
Yes, yes, it is.
Not the cushion, don't look at the cushion.
Well,
but
the
bench
cushion
is
sadly
beautiful.
has.
Yeah.
No, but it is. Actually, I should talk to Susan about this. Is Nefertiti.
Oh, hi. Yes, you're very royal looking.
Nefertiti was plucked out of the river when she was a
really?
little kitten.
Oh.
Yes.
How can people do that? How can people
I
be
don't know if
so
she
mean?
fell in or what
Yeah,
happened. Who
you're right.
knows?
You don't really know.
But
It's true.
she hung on for hours until someone finally found out where she was, because they could hear her, but they couldn't find her. And they went and got in a boat and went and plucked her out, and here she is.
She's so cute. This
Everyone's
tree is-
got a story. Right?
Everybody's got a story. So this tree is huge and big.
I know.
And supports so many other plants and wildlife.
So, and all of these are orchids, you know. There's orchids all over this tree.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, and you have like a little pagoda sort of.
Well, we have a gazebo where we
gazebo.
offer traditional Tibetan butter lamps every week.
You offer what?
Traditional Tibetan butter lamps.
Okay.
So they are called marmes in Tibetan. And you have these little things, right? And there's a hole in the bottom, which is where you would put the wick, and then you pour the ghee over the top, and then you light them all.
Beautiful. That must be beautiful.
It is. It really is. When the whole thing is
Oh.
lit, it's just gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful property.
Well, there's a lot of it. There's.
And it's how big is the property?
It's a half an acre.
It's a half an acre.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's half an
it's
acre.
really nice.
It's like 21,000 something square feet, I think. Something like
Very
that.
pretty.
It really is, and it's very unusual to find, you know.
Yeah.
And actually, I would never have found it except a student of mine owned it and came to me one day and he said, "Oh, Lama, don't you know somebody who wants to buy a house?"
Oh, is that how that happened?
Yes. And I said, "Well, actually, some money was donated and specifically to buy a place." And he said, "Oh, my place is perfect. You've got to come."
Totally perfect.
And this was it. And I went through the house. I thought, okay, this house is nice. And then I walked out here and I said, "Where does it end?" And he said, "Not until you get to the water." It was so funny. I couldn't believe how big it was.
Yeah, it's really
So-
pretty. And it feels very Miami, kind of old Miami, and I love that feel. I love that tropical. Everybody's trying to make their houses look like modern or Tuscan or whatever,
I
and
know,
this is
I
just
know.
really true to
Florida.
the tropics. Yes.
It was actually built in 1947 by Greek shippers, which is why outside in the front you have Minoan columns that look very much like Buddhist.
I was wondering about
Yes,
those.
yeah.
I was like, oh
You
my
would-
God, she
you-
did everything.
You would find those on Crete, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Thank
Yeah,
you
yeah.
for telling me that because
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
I know, I looked at them and I went, wait a second, this isn't quite Tibetan. What
Yeah.
is this? And
So funny. Even I love the tile work.
yeah, the tile work is great. Unfortunately, it gets a lot of mold on it very fast. So